Hey guys, it's Melanie. Happy Tuesday. So I am continuing my sunscreen testing series for this year, which will culminate in a sunscreen compilation suggestions video that is set to go up, I believe, on the 24th. It's the Monday before Labor Day weekend. There we go. I am going to be partnering with a friend, a YouTube friend, who has a very different skin type from mine, and she'll be giving you some wonderful suggestions for a drier, potentially more mature skin type. I am going to be giving you guys suggestions from kind of my area of expertise, which is this hot mess of an oil production factory that is my face. I really do, even at 42, produce enough oil to be able to power a small country if we could figure out a way to harness this oil and convert it into some kind of biofuel. I think I could definitely power a small country just with my face alone. It's still pretty oily. It's a lot less oily than it used to be, but I think those of you who suffer with oily skin, whether it's combination or just straight up like oil slick, if you have nothing combination about your situation, if you're just an oil slick, I feel like the suggestions that I give are going to be great for those of you that are within that particular skin concern range. A lot of my suggestions are probably not going to be ideal for those of you that deal with a drier skin type. I really do tend to prefer a zinc oxide formulation the best, so I tend to gravitate towards mineral sunscreens. The 70 plus organic Coola Mineral Sun Silk Crème is no exception to that. This is a 15% zinc oxide formulation, so this is the one we're talking about today, obviously. But I have just personally found that the zinc oxide formulations are the best for me. Zinc oxide and titanium dioxide formulations also work really well when those two are paired together. I also don't have an aversion necessarily to chemical sunscreens. I know a lot of people shy away from chemical sunscreens. It's just that I find that honestly, the zinc oxide is just a better fit for the oiliness that I contend with in my skin. I find that a lot of the chemical sunscreens just don't really hold up to the oil production that I have, and a lot of those do tend to want to slide off my face. So for me, mineral is the best route, and I think if you are trying to obviously avoid a bunch of extra artificial chemicals, mineral's a great way to go. So anyway, all right, you guys, so let's get into the Coola. First off, this is the very first Coola sunscreen that I have ever tried. They have lots of sunscreen formulations. I took like probably 45 minutes one day and went through all of their different sunscreens, everything from the chemical sunscreens to the mineral sunscreens, their setting and touch-up sprays for SPF, read through all of those, looked at the different ingredients. The one that popped up that I thought would be the most appropriate for my skin type would be the Mineral Sun Silk Crème. So Coola, by the way, they are a vegan brand. They are cruelty-free. Those two things are important to me. Vegan, not so much, but definitely cruelty-free. They are anti-enriched formulas. They're gluten-free. So those of you that have sensitivities, this one here specifically does not contain gluten. I don't know if all of their formulations are gluten-free. Definitely something to look into. But if you are someone with that concern, I'm sure you're already reading those labels pretty heavily. So this here says that this is supposed to shield your skin from environmental and digital UV rays as well. Their little logo here is "We've got you covered from the beach to the boardroom." That's exciting, right? I do like the packaging. It is a glass, it's clear, so you can see how much you have left. It's a really nice pump. Let me show you guys the texture. This is an oil-free formula. And this is supposed to be anti-pollution, UVA, UVB, IR, HEV, and it is a broad spectrum SPF of 30. By the way, the size of this is 1.5 fluid ounces, and it retails, wait for it, for $42. So this is actually, I think, now I won't say it's the most expensive, but it's probably one of the more expensive sunscreens that I have purchased during this roundup this year. That being said, I do like the formula. Like I said, it's not my favorite out of all of them, but I do think that based on the ingredients, the packaging, everything, I think the price point is probably fair, I guess is what I'm trying to say here. So this is what the SPF looks like here. So you can see it's not runny. It is a very, very interesting texture because it is both kind of thick and hard to spread, but also somewhat spreadable at the same time. When you look at the reviews of this particular one, I think what you really, and I'm gonna like rub this in here so that you guys can see the white cast factor, because there is one with this. Keep that in mind. But when you rub this in, it's not the easiest to rub into the skin. You definitely have to work at it. Sometimes in certain areas, if you don't have enough of the SPF, it does tend to want to dry rather quickly. And then it will feel almost like you're tugging on your skin trying to spread it. That I can tell would be frustrating for a lot of people. Another thing that you are going to run into with this one is that you do really have to take your time to work it into the skin, because it tends to want to leave like white patches, which I think is just kind of probably a collection of the zinc in the formula in certain areas. So you really do have to take the time to kind of blend it into the skin. You don't have to scrub at it, but it just takes a little bit longer to work this into the skin. So if you are someone who is in a rush when you are putting on your SPF, this is probably not going to be the one for you. When you do get it worked into the skin, there is definitely a noticeable white-ish cast to the face. It's okay for me because I'm very pasty, but if you at all have any color to your skin, whether you are maybe medium, olive, tan, or a deeper complexion than that, you're going to struggle with the white cast in this formula. I'm just gonna say it. If you are me, or even whiter or pastier than me, down to like just downright porcelain skin, I think the finish of this is actually gonna be fine for you, especially if you have the oily skin type. So it does leave you with a really nice kind of matte, soft finish to the skin. So you can see this hand definitely looks a little whiter, right? Yeah, there is definitely a cast there. But what I will say, the finish, once you do get it on the skin, it's nice. It's nice for oily skin. So what I did a couple of times just to kind of play around is I took my daily dose of this, which is about half a teaspoon for the face, and then I can also usually bring that down onto the neck. Because this doesn't have any color in it, it's very easy to bring down onto my neck, which is appealing. But that is also why you are getting a little bit of that white cast here. Like there's nothing to offset that at all. So what I've been doing is just adding, and you're not supposed to mix sunscreens, let me just tell you that right now. But this is also a mineral sunscreen as well, and it is a zinc oxide formulation. It's better to layer your sunscreens, but what I did is I just took 1 or 2 drops of the My Shell Sun Shield Liquid SPF 50 in the shade Light, and I added it into the SPF here, and I kind of mixed. Here, I just put a little bit of both in on top of my hand here. And I kind of mixed both together. And just that like one drop was enough to take away the white cast on my hand. And it looks better in pictures. Let me just say that. I've taken pictures with a flash with just this, and then with a drop of this in it. It looks a lot better when I put the drop in flash photography anyway. So I don't think you should necessarily have to buy this product just to make this work, but if you happen to have both and you're struggling with the white cast, you can add a drop of this in here. But let me just be the first to say, you are not supposed to mix different formulas of SPF, especially if you are mixing like a mineral with a chemical sunscreen. It's just, don't do that. You can layer your sunscreen, put down one layer of one formula. You can go over top with a different one if you want to do that, but most people aren't willing to do that. So I think if you are concerned about the white cast, this is not going to be for you. Again, I'm pretty pasty white, and when I add in a drop, it actually works quite well for me, but even with just the pastiness, I can make it work, but if you're darker than me, you're not going to be able to make it work. And in terms of how it wears, so I'm purposely recording this video kind of halfway through my day. So right now it is just about 1:30 in the afternoon. It's 1:20. I applied this at 8 o'clock this morning. I haven't blotted or anything, so you can see that I really don't have any oil breaking through. I have a little bit of a glow, but I think that's actually more so from my powder that I'm using today than it is from the SPF making my face shiny in any kind of way. But it's wearing really well. It doesn't break up on my skin. So when my oil production does kind of start to ramp up towards the latter part of the afternoon, it doesn't break it up. It stays put. I have, by the way, sprayed my Kate Somerville SPF 50 uncomplicated SPF over top of this, and it does work. This, by the way, is a chemical sunscreen. So I have sprayed this over top of that, and layering that has been fine. So there's that. So if you are a spray SPF touch-up person, that works well. I have also gone over top with my Color Science Total Protection Sheer Matte SPF 30 sunscreen in a brush. So I have been over top of it with that, and that works just fine. I think the moral of the story with this one, you guys, is I recommend it, but really only if you have a very oily skin type, if you have a lighter complexion to begin with, and the white cast won't cause too much of an issue for you. If you like mineral foundations, and if you don't mind spending a little bit more time rubbing this one into the skin, and if you're just looking to try something different, I think it's worth a try. But I do think you have to have a skin type that would work with this. If you are dry, this is going to catch on all of your dry, flaky patches that you might have on your skin. It is probably going to accentuate the dryness. It's certainly not going to help hydrate your skin in any kind of way. I do think that it does help to control the oil production. So it could be that this could be more drying to your skin if you have dry skin. Overall, I would say I'm kind of 50-50 on this one myself. Like, I probably won't repurchase it myself because there's some other ones that I found this year that just work way better, way less effort. But also at the same time, I'm going to continue to use it and finish it up. There's no reason to not finish it. I'm not going to return it. The expiration of this one, it looks like I can go until May of 22. So this will definitely be finished by the time this summer rolls around. This one, again, face works pretty good. Neck, chest, décolletage, just takes a little bit of rubbing. So Anyway, I hope that was helpful. I think it will still make a video appearance in that compilation video for me, but I will have some warnings for it, and hopefully when people come back to reference this video, those are all of the warnings that I give you. I don't know. I can't give it the usual 2 thumbs up. Yes, I love it, but I also can't say it's a garbage product. I think it's just for a very specific skin type. All right, have a great rest of your day, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Toodaloo.